Hello students, this is a video of biology, grade 12, unit 1, that is reproduction, chapter number 2, that is sexual reproduction in angiosperm or flowering plants, and the topic we will discuss in this video, that is cross pollination. In my previous video, I have discussed with you about pollination, and in today's video we will discuss about the topic what do you mean by cross pollination, students. So let's begin with the topic, that is cross pollination. Now, before discussing the core content of the cross pollination, just have a quick recap of what we did. We already know that what do you mean by pollination? It is a transfer of pollen from anther to the stigma of a female flower. That is known as pollination, students, right? We already did this. Okay, so today we have to learn about cross. What do you mean by cross pollination? Student, it refers to a complex type of pollination that allows the transfer of pollen grains from the anther of a flower into the stigma of a female flower. Okay, this method leads to an increase in genetic diversity because there is a long distance they have to travel, right? So there is an increased genetic diversity in different flowers will share and combine with their genetic information to create a unique, interesting offsprings, right? So that is why cross pollination is very good. It's really important as compared to self-pollination. In the same way, sexual reproduction is prominent over the asexual reproduction. Okay, so moving to the next, there are number of types of cross-pollination we have, because students try to understand this thing. Cross-pollination means what? What we require actually in the cross-pollination. Students, in cross-pollination we need some agents, we need some pollinators which help a male gamete to reach into the female gamete, right? So there is a requirement of what? An agent. So that is why there are number of types of male gametes or of cross pollination we have, because it depends upon the type of a flower that which type of pollination they show. So starting with the first, there is first pollination, that is called as a wind pollination and also called as anemophily. Wind pollination and anemophily. Now, there are only few flowers that used wind pollination, right? And their features are what? They are greenish in color, small, odorless flowers. As these flowers do not attract the pollinators, so their energy is not used for making a colorful petals. So this type of pollination you will usually occurs when the plant lack flowers, or they are very good quantity of great colorful flowers. Okay, they are having a large quantity of pollen grains, so that because wind have to carry the pollen grains, so definitely there are chances that some pollen grain will fall down during the wind. Some will be posted into some other flowers, and many more things are happening because wind is one who taking the pollens from one place to another, right? So what happen in this actually? The male part of anemophilous flowers tend to produce very large quantities of pollen, and the stigma, the female reproductive part, must be a very large part, sticky one, feathery one, which extend their hands that come in types. So that's why there is a requirement of this. Okay, so coconut, palm, maize, grasses and all the gymnosperm are the best example of wind pollinated flowers. They are the best example of wind pollinated plants. You must have seen that your car is fully covered with a yellow film in the spring, right? It is actually the pollens that basically use wind pollination, right? You must observe it many times, like yellow color pollens are scattered on the road also. So that is because they are following anemophily, right? They are facing anemophily. That is a simple word. Now the next is pollination occurs by animals also. First is pollination occur by winds. The second type we can say pollination occur by animals. So we called it as a zoophily. Okay. Animals play a very important role for the reproduction process, and they help in seed dispersal. When an animal eats any of the fruit, they move to different locations, and when they reach to other location, they throw the seed, and this help in the seed dispersal as well as in pollination also. Right, students? There are many other types of pollination is also there, like hydrophily, which is related to water. Like aquatic plant mostly use hydrophily, okay, in which like the water helps for the pollen to take out and reach the stigma. Students, there are different kinds, right? Whereas if I will let you know, there is one type more, that is artificial pollination, which we called as Anthropophily, right? This is an artificial pollination. It is done by humans. This process is basically what, like if there are any difficulties in the pollination processes, what happen, humans take care of the pollen grain. They are using some artificial technique to provide a particular type of pollination done by the human interference. Okay, if there are any difficulties in the pollination process through the abiotic or the biotic agents, the artificial method of pollination is performed by spreading pollen grains over the female plants with their hands, also with any tool also. Hybridization technique is also done in this process. Like student, basically pollination is a very easy concept, but cross pollination is somewhat complex because the pollen have to travel a lot of distance, okay, and they need an agent. In these agent, there are some like wind is an agent, water is an agent, okay. Some insects are also agent, students. Some insects are also agent for that, like honeybees, wasp, they all are the agents, right? Animals, now in the animals is also one of the agent to take care of this. Whereas when this all are fail, like biotic and abiotic organisms are unable to produce this much, then what happen? They are doing artificial pollination, right? Artificial pollination is just like that. They are using different things to make that pollen must reach to the female part. This is all about cross pollination. There are many more, like the pollination done by the snail is called what? That is called a mycophily. That is a very easy thing. I am just introducing the things with you so that you may understand the things properly. Okay, so this will help you while you are giving your exam or everything, right? So there everything in the biology have some advantages, some disadvantages. So coming with the merits of cross pollination, first of all, the seeds are very good in vigor and vitality. All unisexual plant can be produced through the process of cross pollination. The relative characters in the lineage are eliminated as a result of pollination. Okay, as you know that in the cross pollination there are chances of variation, definitely, because distance is used, plant is different, so that is why. Okay, students, the recessive characters in the lineage are eliminated as a result of genetic recombination. The process improves the immunity of the offsprings, definitely, as they say there is a variations, and this is basically they provide a new genes. They include a new variety of species. The next is disadvantages. So if I talk about disadvantages, in this process there is a great wastage of pollen grains because they have to cover a large distance to reach somewhere. Due to genetic recombination of meiosis, there are chances of elimination of good qualities also. Definitely, students, because when the variation is there, there must be a chances that good genes may eliminated during the process, right? So student, this is all about the pollination. But here I will also explain you one thing, that cross pollination is further is of two types, right? If suppose this is a plant and in this plant there are two flowers like this. If this anther liberates this pollen and reaches like this, this is also one type of self-fertilization we have, which we called as gitogamy. But students always confuse, they always consider it as a cross pollination, whereas the plant is same but the flower is different, right? So it is called as a gitogamy. Whereas if both are different and this reaches to this is called as xenogamy. These are different terms in biology. Actually, if we talk about the proper curriculum, it is included in some book, whereas it is not included in any books. So I'm just giving you extra knowledge. What do you mean by ketogamy, xenogamy? Just have an idea so that you are able to understand the concept in a very elaborate manner. Okay, so this is all about this video. However, before winding, we have a quick recap that what we have discussed in this video about cross-pollination. Cross-pollination, the types of cross-pollination we have with the water, with the insects, with the air, with the animals, with the humans. There are different, right? So you just have a quick recap for it. It's really easy one. You can understand it very easily. Okay, still if you have any of the doubt, any of the query, just write down in the comment box so that I will assist you. Okay, see you in the next video, and in the next video we will discuss about the structure of megagametophite. We already did about the megagametogenesis, but how this will happen, what structure it look like, we will do in the next video. I hope you enjoy the class. Thank you very much. Bye bye.